Hello Virgo, we're back, and this time we're doing something a little different, and it involves getting a heads up of what might be coming up in your relationships in July. And I hope that at least one of these stories will resonate, because I pick up on a few different people in each sign, so I'm hoping at least one of them resonates with every person who watches the video, and hopefully I hit all of them. Who knows? But if I don't, totally understand if you need to go to a different reader. I still would appreciate the like and the subscribe to support me while I'm learning and trying to get to the bottom of it. I also love suggestions. If you want to provide some feedback, oh wow, it would be really wonderful. If the feedback is constructive criticism, I'm good with that too. I mean, I hope that you won't give me a thumbs down while I'm learning, because I won't really understand it, but I do would understand if you really felt the need to. If you could give me that constructive criticism so that I know what I did, I would really appreciate it, okay? As long as you phrase it in a way that I know that you're not trying to make me feel bad or something like that. That's sideways, okay, so I'll call it upright. Because if it's phrased in a way that is clearly, intended to make me feel bad or insult me or something like that, and then I don't get paid for this, so I can't really, I don't have the energy to give it any focus, so it will have to be deleted. But if there's any way I can read it as constructive criticism, I will assume the best, okay? So if you try, I will recognize that you are being, you're trying to give me some good advice, okay? Even if it's not happy, wonderful accolades or whatever. If you really resonate with the story and there's some clarification you want, I don't mind pulling another card for you. Just write it in the comments, and I'll definitely do that for you. And don't forget, no gender. Okay, I think that's it. Let's get to your reading. Let's see, your overall energy. How interesting. That's a very strong card. I mean, that's, first of all, it's a major arcana, and it's upright. And this is a very strong person. Someone who's very grounded in tradition, which kind of reminds me of quite a few Virgos I know. Now, I have a Venus in Virgo, so I know that there's a certain practicality about me, and I think that tradition, practicality, and these things, there's a lot of connection between these things. It makes sense. Now, how the Hierophant deals with situations. I'm going to learn a little bit more about Mr. Hierophant today. I've always had an interesting relationship with him. He has definitely taught me quite a bit through the years, because he's one of those energies that, as you get older, you start to understand energies more, but he's one of the cards that I didn't quite grasp up front. There was a lot of confusion. So, but now we're good. And I get to learn more. Okay. Well, for being a reading about conflict, the world being right side up next to the sun being right side up makes me go, huh? But I'm sure there's a reason for this. Maybe it's the next card that will, I'll try to figure this one out. Okay, because I don't see anything here to be worried about, unless you only have 2 issues and the the third line is not necessary. Who knows? No, but I doubt it. Let's see. Everybody's probably got at least 3, and I like to believe that the spirit guides led me to the top 3 issues. Okay. Leaving behind and giving up on certain emotional ties. That could lead you to, the sun and the warmth of, because these could be really dark things that just didn't didn't make sense for you. You may have had to walk away from certain people and the emotional drains that they have been. And I'm sorry if that's true, because I know it's not easy to leave people behind, but sometimes you do have to. It's so painful, but it's actually in their own best interest in many cases. Obviously, someone who's mentally ill and blah, 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 there's a lot of things where people are needy in ways that walking away is, you know, it all depends on, you know, who you are to that person, and your responsibility towards them or not. But I can totally see how letting that all go and just going into the unknown on your own can be very, it can bring you that sun that you want to enjoy this summer in July. Okay. But I kind of went backwards because I am trying to figure out how the world, how somebody in your life, how that's a conflict. I'm gonna say I'm gonna reserve this for context. I'm gonna go to another line and I'm gonna return to it, because I have a feeling that even though these are 3 sets of concepts, there's interplay between each of the concepts usually, because in your life these things overlap, and I have a feeling that I'll get a better sense if I start feeling the downloads right now when this card is just giving me positivity. I'm not quite sure what the reading is. It could, like I said, it could be a simple matter of it is positive, you know, but let's see. Okay. All right. Someone in your family here. Now, this person, I don't know what role someone you had to leave behind was, but in terms of your family, possibly a sibling, or somebody that you shared your childhood with, or you had a past life with, or maybe you had a relationship earlier on in your life, you know, an old friend from the past, who knows. But there's affection here. There's affection here, and that's also positive, sort of like this one. But in some of these cases, when there's a positive card from somebody in your life, if your card is a little more intense, it can explain a lot. So let's see. Now I see you have a mediator in your life too. You are slow moving with resources. Okay. Someone in your life needs help financially or with some type of support, and you're not real keen on it. Not that you aren't a giving person, but you have all this affection for them and they you, so you can't, you want to help. And yeah, I think that because you have to walk that fine line between enabling someone you love and helping them, and you know, it's sort of like you teach a man to fish, blah blah blah, right? There's a lot of conflict when it comes to helping someone, and I don't even know if you have tons of resources available to give, you know. I think that there's another person in your life who's more like a mediator, is probably a family person, could be the mother and this is your sibling, but someone who cares and is wise and can kind of see to the heart and trying to be fair about things, and you trust to help you sort it out. Okay. But yeah, I think that there's someone who is a bit of a needy person, and either you're not in a position to be giving and you're trying to anyhow because you love them, or they need to learn how to fix their own problems and you're just enabling them, and you don't like being in that situation because it's kind of emotional blackmail. Sorry. If that's your story, I feel really bad that that's happening to you, because that's not an easy place. I've been there. So it took me a while to make peace with some of that, and thank goodness for the people like this. to help you sort through it, because that's very painful when it's people you love and have so much affection, who have affection for you. You are not ready to give somebody something fishy. You only have something fishy to give, and you're not going to do that because that's just like not going to work. Okay. This card to me screams worldview every time I see it. Not to say that I have never looked at it and saw something else, because I have. I think that this is similar to another reading that I did, in the sense that, because we're all dealing with worldview right now with all that's going on in the world, and I think that you are probably having some verbal sparring, not and in a playful, witty way. You can roll ideas back and forth without making a federal case for your opinion, although sometimes it hits home so much that, if you you love someone and they're out there in the streets protesting, this is not something that you can be lighthearted about, clearly. But you are dealing with your circle, the people in your orbit. You can't quite give them what they want, and so you're not going to give them what you have to offer, because they're just going to see it as fishy. That's not an easy place to be either. I mean, in times past I would have said, well, que sera, sera, but in the times we live in, this could be very serious and emotional situation. It could be very tense. The Page of Pentacles is someone in your life that has the mental, and they have the resources to meet you halfway, to understand your worldview. So you can perhaps trust this person, even though for the most part this person is probably one of these people in there. But I think on the side, in private, I actually have a friend like that, where I'm not saying that we even have the same worldview, but we have so much understanding and tolerance from where we're coming from in our heart space, that we allow each other those differences. And I think that you can focus on the friend that can do that, and maybe you don't have to worry so much about that, but you can talk. It's not necessarily a mediator per se, but somebody who can be that voice that you can be open with and sort it out with. Yeah, this person you can sort it out with without judgment. This person is just going to mediate this really weird situation, and this person had nothing to offer, and you were able to stay in a good place without that person. I'm gonna bring the Hierophant over here, because, and I may need a clarifier, because I'm still seeing this as a positive and I'm not quite seeing, but let me see, sometimes I can get a cross section for understanding, like this is you, and I've been seeing a lot of this as these side people, in a lot of cases, like the mediator, the sounding board, in this particular case, I'm not sure that all three are related, but if I think hard on it, I might be able to, or if I spend to it, I'm not drawn to sorting that out right now. It might just take up more time than it's worth. But having different worldviews, but being playful at it. This is also a playful energy. Oh. Something's finished. how does the Hierophant come into play in this? Something's finished. They're walking away. You're happy in the sunlight. Okay. Okay, this is your friends, this is your family. I think this is your person. It could, if it's not your person, it's someone you're extremely connected to. And it's played out. They know it. It's not a totally unhappy situation for them, but walking away was the sensible thing. So even though this isn't the person that you turn to deal with this, in this, like in these cases, the commonality really is that there's like a voice of reason going on over here. And tradition and being, you know what? I think I know here. Okay. I think that this played out a long time ago. Whether it's your person or a really close relationship, maybe you've been friends for so long, you just don't even know how to let go. And I think that because you're very steeped in commitment and ritual and standing by people, that you've probably held on to it for way longer than it should have. But you've both you're releasing each other. And this person isn't necessarily unhappy, but there's just no point in looking at it. Something ended a long time ago. Ugh. But sometimes people grow, and they grow in different directions, and it's not necessarily a reflection of a bad relationship, but people grow and they sometimes aren't connected anymore. And, I love to believe in, the one and all this and that, but life is so complex, and these things are sad, but I think you guys are okay. I haven't had time to catch up with you, so I'm feeling all weepy, but you guys are okay with it. It's not to say that this is not, there's something that the darkness of this isn't, it's not wonderful, but by letting go of this darkness, you can live in the sun. This has been played out, they're moving on. Okay. All right, and for the spirit guides, I've been using the dark mirror because I think it's best representative of, we're looking for the kinds of dark energies that we should have a heads up on. So let's see what kind of advice they're giving. Obsession. Okay, let's see where obsession comes into play. Yeah. Okay. This is making sense here. Let me do this here. Okay. Because you've always been that reliable person and capable, and there's been like an obsession with making this work. But this is a dark energy that, was here to teach you something, and you're letting it go. And you're fine. Virgo, I think that your reading is reasonably good compared to the others I've seen. It's not fun, especially when you're dealing with family, that it's a problem that never seems to go away. So just trying to mitigate the situation And then, you know, having at least one friend that understands your point of view while you're stuck among people you can't really be completely open with, but they are your friends. They're not going to stop being your friends. Nobody here is fighting to the death. They're just play fighting, you know? It's sparring. It's all good. And you finally let go of some things that needed to go. So it's good, okay? All right, Virgo. Next time, hopefully we'll talk more about your person. And that will be for the relationship reading, that is next time, okay? And I'll be getting a clicker soon that will allow me to record longer without doing this.